Morning, everybody. 8:12 a.m. Welcome to my channel. It is May 8th. May 8th. Now, of course, markets a little overextended, right? Talked about my weekly expected move indicators yesterday getting hit. I'm not saying that's the reason the markets pulled back a little bit, but they did. There was some negative news as well with Middle East tensions, right? But the markets couldn't even hit the previous day's lows. That is telling, okay? You couldn't even test the previous day's lows. That just shows the momentum in the markets. Okay, now semis are back up 1.60% this morning. Okay, Broadcom's up, AMD's up, Nvidia's up, Qualcomm is just on a tear. All right, there's a lot of momentum still here. People are not scared to buy these dips. There's still craziness going over on the Middle East, right? Now, one thing I have to say about that, and I say it in my community, okay? The war is priced in. You have to understand that. Even if there's a couple missiles, a couple this or whatever, we know, the market knows it's undetermined yet. I mean, crude, let's see where it's up. It's up today. It's only up 0.43%, back to $95 a barrel. But you have to understand, the market knows about all this already. It's priced in already. Something has to come up that, like, the peace deal is off. Something crazy, like we're not negotiating anymore. Something catastrophic to actually mean something. Now, a negative news will gyrate the market for a day or for a half hour to an hour, but it won't take it down. Okay? So yesterday, I did have a short right where I wanted it. I actually added to the position and it winded up coming down. Now, while it was coming down, I said, hey, I said it all yesterday. Even if my weekly expected move indicators are showing me we're overextended, it doesn't mean there's just a bear market now. It doesn't mean we sell off forever. Okay? Now, my trade was up a lot more than what I had, even though it was a 3+R trade. It was up. I was waiting to get my target. I got whipped out. And my stop was not close to where the lows were. It was up there. It got whipped. And then it hit my target way down there, which is just trading, right? Still a 3R trade. I can't really complain about it, but it was up to probably like 4 or 5R at one point. However, so these markets just responded and told you we're still buying dips. Okay? That's what's going on. Now, Coinbase had some data center and Amazon data center issues this morning. That's why that's down. What else? That's it. All right, let's just get into it. We got news coming at 8:30. All right, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand. Gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, the previous day. That is my answer. That's how I come up with game plans. Now, every morning, the market opens. I want to look at my market internals. It's going to tell me who's driving the market. All right, I'm going to base generally if I'm long or short on my internals. Okay. I also use the gamma flip points. Gamma exposure flip points are like pivots, right? I also give them for free in my Discord. Okay. Weekly expected move indicator. I give away for free on my Discord as well. That tells you when the market's getting a little overextended by what? The options market. Not because I say it so. That's what I love about the options market. It's all transparent. Everybody's transactions are there. It basically tells you what the market expects. It's awesome. Okay? So that tells you we hit the QQQ is over the expected move for this week. SPY hit it, so did SPX. IWM as well, and a lot of stocks have hit it. Nvidia hit it yesterday. So did Apple. It's just a data point. Put the call ratio. People aren't buying puts. These are all data points. Not to just go in and buy put in the market hoping that the market sells off. Right? It just means that when all those things line up generally, we get a pullback. I talked about this yesterday, right? Before I even knew the market was going to pull back. Okay? Now, every morning, hope you join me. Subscribe, set that alert, give you the market story, the economic calendar, the leaders and the laggards, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ and the ES futures later on in the stream. Now, if you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Let me be your indicator. All right? Now, let's get right into the futures watch list. And we got silver. Silver. Oop, give me one sec, folks. Give me 1 second. We have silver leading the pack. Nasdaq's up 0.73, Russell's up 0.57, ES up 0.51, over 0.5%, Dow up 3.35, crude up 0.35, Bitcoin up 0.26, 30-year bonds being bought, gold pretty much flat, dollars pretty much flat, 10-year yields kind of flat. All right, Ethereum down 0.17 and VIX 0.35. This it's kind of muted, even though the market has pushed back up. Okay, I know Trump wants to meet with some leaders in tech, Boeing in China. I know Irish Energy and Nvidia partnered up. That's what's coming. Someone partnered up with Broadcom as well. So semi's getting love. Right now, we're a little muted because 8:30 non-farm payrolls and unemployment come out. And the last time that came out, the market was closed. Market was actually closed the last time that this data came out. Okay, so a little muted. Non-stocks somewhat, right? Look at that. Let's go to the Mag 7 Plus here. Broadcom up 1.69. AMD up 1.60, continuing its meteoric rise. Apple up 1.28. Tesla up 1.13. Boeing up 0.85. Nvidia's up 0.72. Lagging today, Coinbase, that data center outage. All right, top sectors. Qualcomm is on a run. Now, oh, do I regret not adding to this position at 120. Oh, that's... again, you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's just ripping. It's ripping. It was at 120. It was up to 217 yesterday. It's almost $100 up from where it was a week or so ago. Okay. GE Vernova up 2%. That's one of my babies. NEM mining up 1.25. Lagging today, Oracle. Now, so some software's lagging today. Oracle down 1.38. Salesforce down 2.15. Okay. Let's get granular here. There's your Iris Energy. I believe they reported earnings as well, but they partnered with Nvidia. Then you got, what is this, Block, XYZ up 9.14. Rocket Labs up 8.18. They reported earnings as well. Monster Energy, I believe, got a price target raise. It's up 7.28. Tandem Diabetes up 7.20. ASTS up 3.44. Micron up 2.90. Oklo Nuclear Energy up. Vertiv, data center build out, power supply, cooling. Okay, now negative. We do have some negatives. Cloudflare, that is down 14.85%. Trade Desk down 13.15. Expedia down 7.83. CoreWeave down 7.64. SoundHound down 7.27. And Mercado Libre down 5.4. And now Team, Atlassian, that's software, Workday, down 1.91. Okay, that's it. Oop, I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. I think that's what I wanted. Okay. Now, moving on. Sectors. Sectors. All right. Semiconductors, risk on. Up 1.55%. Technology, up 1%. Okay. This is before unemployment and non-farm payrolls. Industrials is up. Everything is up. Okay. Nothing's lagging. Right. In sectors. Nothing's lagging at all. Okay. Moving on. We're going to go to the economic calendar. Okay. Looks like Fed Cook spoke at 5:45 a.m. We have non-farm payrolls. We're expecting 62K jobs. Previous 178. All right. Unemployment rate. Expecting it to stay the same at 4.3. Okay. 10 a.m. Michigan consumer sentiment. So we have a big data coming out at 8:30. That generally does move markets. At 10 a.m., this also, Michigan consumer sentiment, also move markets. Okay? So, let's look at other stuff going on here. Okay? I just want to see if there's anything else in here. Oh, Fed Goolsbee speaks at 11. Let's look at Trump's schedule. Let's see here. I don't really see anything special about Trump today. What else? Let's go to here. So Middle East tensions, there was some crap going on with bombs and stuff like that yesterday. I mean, what else is new? But let's just see if there's any stock roundup here. Maybe there's not. Anthropic eyes near $1 trillion valuation. Jesus. Okay, let's see here. Well, that's definitely going to help semis. Look at that. TSMC April sales jumped 17.5% on sustained AI chip demand. And that's not even up that much today. Up 0.40. Interesting. All right, moving on. We're going to go to some news here. All right, Amazon reports cloud outage at North Virginia data center. That's what I was talking about. CME, Coinbase face trading issues. Okay, that's why the Coinbase is down. U.S. suspects, NVIDIA chips smuggled to Alibaba via Thailand. Trump administration invites NVIDIA Boeing CEOs for China trip. Mattel investor asks CEO to consider go private or sale as toy demand weakens. Apple Meta warned Canadian bill could force them to weaken encryption. Let's look at the here. U.S. stock indexes for futures rose as recovering chip makers held offset worries about renewed U.S.-Iran tensions, while investors looked ahead to crucial employment report. European shares fell in broad-based losses. In Asia, Japan's Nikkei retreated from a record high set in last session, and Chinese stocks recorded a fifth consecutive weekly gain as markets await the meeting between Beijing and Washington next week for cues on economic policies. Okay, the dollar inched down, pushed gold prices up. Oil edged up a day after renewed fighting near the Strait of Hormuz raised new questions about the ceasefire between the United States and Iran. All right, let's see if there's anything else in here. Now, Coinbase, they did report earnings. The cryptocurrency exchange on Thursday recorded a second consecutive quarter of losses as a crypto-driven market volatility sapped the company's trading volumes. Interesting. CoreWeave is also down. Now, here's the Irish Energy, ticker IREN. NVIDIA will invest up to $2.1 billion in data center operator IREN as part of a broader deal to deploy up to 5 gigawatts of infrastructure to keep up with soaring artificial intelligence demand. Interesting. Monster Energy beat earnings. They're up, and they got price target raises. Let's see. CoreWeave raises target price even though they're down, 105 to 190. Lyft, JP Morgan raises target price to 18 from 17. McDonald's cuts target price to 350 from 370. Interesting. McDonald's was up yesterday. Microchip Technology, Jefferies raises target price to 120 from 90. Shake Shack, Jefferies cuts target price to 76 from 95. Now, Shake Shack, I did get an alert yesterday. It must have dropped pretty good. All right. After yesterday, let's see how this breath shook out. Let's look at some breath charts here. All right, we're going to start with the faster moving average, the 20-day. After yesterday, we dropped 44% of stocks above their 20-day moving. So that's weakening, right? Let's look at the 50-day. 52, weakened as well. So just middling, just middling. Now we'll go to the bullish percent index of the S&P 500. 58% on buy signals. Let's go to the NDX. I'm assuming this dropped from yesterday. No, it did not. The NDX yesterday went higher. 67% on buy signals. Okay? So, once you get up into the 80s, like look, we went here once in the NDX at like 67 and dropped. Once you get up into the 70s, 80s, yes, that's pretty much overbought. We'll have to see. Now we're going to drill down, okay, into the technology sector itself. And let's see what that did yesterday. It went up. We're getting very frothy here in technology. 78%. Once you get into the 80s, you tend to get a pullback like we did last time. So, doesn't mean you sell it. It's bearish. It just means that be on watch. Okay. We'll look at one other thing here. Let's look at the financials. That is falling. Okay. Down to 61%. Okay. 61%. And now discretionary, remember I said that was weakening. That is still weakening. 47%. And lastly, let's look at healthcare because that has been weak. Got to rise up a little bit yesterday. Okay. That is your breadth charts. Now we're going to do the market internals recap here. Now, yesterday, the market, when it was up here, technology was the only sector that was positive. Okay. That turned negative. So you can see everything from the open was red. Industrials particularly had a weak day. Okay. So did consumer discretionary. Staples, energy. There was nothing that strong about the market yesterday. Hence why it stayed down here. Okay, semis finally pulled back. They were down 2% about at one point yesterday. That's all taken back. That's all taken back. Oh, my bad. The news came out. Let's go to that. I can't believe I forgot about that. Let's go right to it. Let's go to the numbers. All right, so let's see. Non-farm payrolls added more jobs than expected. 62. Expected 115. Added. Unemployment rate stayed the same. Unemployment rate stayed the same. So the unemployment stayed the same. Added more jobs. I don't know what the market's going to care about. It doesn't seem to care about it much today. All right. There's nothing really more to add on internals. We're going to go straight into daily charts here. Okay. Here's our daily charts. All right. So you can see weekly expected move indicator was the top of the market yesterday. It's uncanny, folks. I know it is. Okay. Now, where are we now? 735. Right, yesterday's highs. All right, let's look at futures. There you back at yesterday's highs. You did take out yesterday's lows in the overnight. Okay. Now we're starting to create a balance. area. Okay. Now this is all bullish. Nothing bearish about this. Okay. Qs. Qs. Look at that. Played around with that expected move to the upside. Remember I said when it plays around with it, did go up to 701. Now 700, 701 is a psychological number. So once it came back in, it was going back into previous day about the midpoint. Yes, the previous day, about the 50% retracement of the previous day. Got bought up. Now where is it now? 701. It's all the way back up here at the highs. It's about to break all-time highs right now. Let's look at futures. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's all-time highs from yesterday. It's about to break it. Just a beast. Just a beast. It's all you can say is momentum is driving this market. I mean, just insanity, really. Okay? Let's move on. We're going to do hourly charts now. You'll see what I'm talking about. About to break all-time highs in both. Unbelievable. All right, let me get my marker out. This quite a recovery we're having here. Okay. So, remember I talk about the market's efficient, right? So, see this? Whoop. Poor structure. Poor structure. A little bit of poor structure. Guess what we did? Cleaned it all yesterday. Okay. Market's efficient. Now, this isn't the best structure. Boom, 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 boom. It also could be taken away and create a balance area. Now, I don't know if that happens today. I don't know. But this right here, my friends, is probably an area that's going to get hit. Pretty much can guarantee it. The 74.10 area. It's going to get hit probably as I'm speaking. Okay. Boom. There it is. Hit all-time highs. Okay. All-time highs happening. I can get rid of this. All right, we can put another equal little low right there. Another one probably there as well. Now, if this stays, that will be a demand zone. All-time highs. We just broke a major supply zone. Okay. Does this continue? I don't know. Right? Let's throw a volume profile on here. Right from this candle. Actually, we'll do it right here. So you can see, okay, two high volume nodes. One here, where a bunch of volume's been transacted, and another one right here, the most traded price right here, around 73.95. That's where the market has been transacting the most. Down here, at the 73.60s and the 73.95s. You can see in the middle here is very low volume. That's why the transactions, you notice where the candlesticks move fast, is in the low volume areas. That's how markets work. Okay. These are pockets, right? The low volume nodes are always act as support and resistance and can get blown through very easily. Okay. High volume nodes stop markets. Okay, so if you just notice high volume node here, look when we came here. We spent about 3 hours here. Look when we came back down here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours spent here. Okay, and then not enough time or volume spent down here. So you can rip through it. Now we're sweeping this area. And like I said, if this becomes a balanced area, this price action could be just taken right away. I don't know that. Okay, so be cognizant of that. Okay, be cognizant. Let's just put another volume profile just on this move up. Let's just look how that looks. Okay, so not the most volume down here. You have a high volume node here, and then obviously right here. Okay. Even seeing this big bars here, there's not a lot of volume up here. And you have a flattish top up here. Okay. So basically, when you look at this move up, what you want to see is if 73, 95, 97 areas can get taken out. And then you can see if you can move back through. Okay. We don't know. We don't know. Right now, profit taking probably just happened. You're going to have a demand zone here. So like I said 73.95 is probably your little line in the sand today. Now, let's go to NASDAQ. Okay. This is your NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ's been relatively strong. Okay. So, let's look at it. Now, what we did yesterday, most traded price of yesterday, most traded price of the week is around your 287s right here. We'll throw a fine profile in a second. Okay. So we just made new all-time highs in futures. We do have a couple demand zones here. Okay. You really can't get bearish. Now, we tried yesterday to spend time down here. Tried below this 28676 area right here, right? That would be your mini line in the sand. You need the market to find acceptance down here. See, it tried, couldn't. Okay, let's throw the volume profile here. Okay, let's see the difference. Okay, so we'll take it from, let's take it from here. Okay, so big volume here around the 28872s right there. The most volume is where that box I have is 28676. That's why this needs to find acceptance under here. Okay, we are above value area. Okay, so what do we do? Do we keep going? Or do we make some type of balance area? I don't know, right? We could just, this could be the balance area. We come up here, we come down, we come up here, we come down. I don't know. Okay. And someone tells you they know, they don't. They don't know. Now, this most likely will become another demand zone right here. So this sideways movement just strengthens this move, because now when we come back here, it's not going to be easy to break through. Okay, now look, Bro comes up 2%, AMD's up over 2%, semis are up over 2%. It's just crazy. Now we're gapping up in the NASDAQ. Does this fall very bad today? Maybe. You don't know. You really don't. Okay, very headline risk market. Okay. So we just have to see. Now, if you look at structure, right, let's just see. Let's do a quick structure thing here. From here, let's do it. Okay. We're just going to look at the trend. Let's look how this trend has been looking. Right? And if we pull that away, we did, for a second, break trend. Right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then boom. But we're back over this. Right? So, you know, we're still in the long term, higher low, higher low, higher low. Right? We did have a momentary break, but look, we're back on schedule. Okay? We're back on schedule. So, that's it for hourlies. Now, this market's nuts. Really is nuts, folks. Now, we're going to get into the market profile, volume profile, and we will do scenarios. Okay, so here's your market profile, volume profile. All right, now, just for everybody who's new, black shaded area is the regular time trading hours. That is 9:30 to 4:15. Okay, the lighter shaded gray area is your overnight session. So we have a bullish engulfing overnight session. We were all the way down here in the demand. Okay, and we're up here, right? Yesterday's highs. Just crazy. Okay, just crazy. So what I'm going to do here is break out this session. This is just 30-minute bars, nothing to be scared of. Okay. Now, like I said, what could happen today is balance. We could start a new balance area. That doesn't have to happen. We could just push up. Okay. We could just push up. So let's get into scenarios, long and short trade scenarios of the ES. Okay. So areas to look at. 74.10 to 12s is now a very big area of resistance, right? Resistance, resistance, and now we're coming here again. That could be a balance high. It's undetermined yet. The 73.66 to 73.27 could become a balance low area. Okay? So this could be our playground potentially. Okay? Now crude is not down today. It's kind of flat. So what do we want to see here? Right? Does the market just explode again? Up? Sure can. It definitely can. All right, and we're going to go over all that. So what I'm going to start with here is longs. Okay? So if I want to be long, tech is leading the market. Okay? Any kind of pullback, even if we take out the overnight highs and we come back and retest what? The most traded price of the week, which is 73.95s. Okay? If it holds and markets are semis are up, everything looks great, right? You want to see a push off that, maybe make a higher low, and then you go and hit those overnight highs, the 71.12s, and see if you can ride into the weekend up at all-time highs. That would be a breakout. Now, what do I also know? Markets are overextended. Stocks are overextended. Okay, put the call ratio. Puts, no one's buying puts. Still a factor. Okay, still a factor. So I don't want too deep of a pullback to think I can go long for a breakout. That's my point. Because if my market's holding and we come back here, yes, I'm probably more comfortable going long. Okay. Honestly, the only other long I'm interested in, okay, is if we do drop down to here to the 73.36, yesterday, the overnight lows, okay, or the 73.27s, the top of this gap, and we bounce, I'm probably maybe interested in for a bounce here. Reason what I'm saying this is because we're overextended, and if we don't hold the 73.95 is the most traded price of the week, below that I don't like longs. I really don't. Okay. Shorts, let's do it. So this is where today a short is more viable because of all the data that I'm seeing. Expected moves being breached in stocks and in indexes. Okay. and we're at a key resistance level. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment are out now. Does this move continue? I don't know. But what I do know is this, okay? This could be a balance area high. So any push up, sweep above there, okay? You start the push. Probably what I'm going to try to wait for today is a breach of 73.95. Okay? And maybe the market needs to take out this demand zone here around the 73.82s. Maybe it bounces and maybe you get the retest of the 73.95. Now, if the market at this point, semis are red, technology's not getting money flows, this is probably your short. Okay? And you're going to target, you could take a target right here at the 73.60s. That's yesterday's most traded price. You can see the volume here, right? Well, then most likely we're going to go back down to yesterday. Lows, the 73.45s, the overnight lows, 73.36s, and then you have the top of a gap, 73.27. Now, if this market really starts to sell off, we're most likely going to fill the gap to 7,300. And then below there, woof, I don't know. Okay? We very well can just stop here and push back up at the balance lows. Okay? This is the short I'll be looking for. A break below, take out some demand, pull back to the 73.96s, and I want to see tech taking money flows coming out of it. Okay? That's all I care about. I think up here, it's a little gamble to short. I think it's a little gamble. Now, it will hurt to see this market fall if I don't get a pullback. Well, I'll have to assess it. But that's scenarios for the ES. Okay? So, let's go over to the NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ was gapping up. Now, we have a bullish engulfing session. Overnights have engulfed yesterday's session. Okay? Now, we have, let's get into the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ, okay? Let's break out this session. It's just 30-minute bars. Now, again, this overnight session is very key because it's giving us the 28945s, yesterday's highs, the 28976s area of resistance, right? I know people who got long from yesterday's lows, people got long from overnight lows, probably want to take some profits here. Now you have kind of what could come into balance lows would be the 28553s down to the 28, let's call it 5 area. This is our playground, folks. Okay? So, very easy. Okay? Very easy. Now, I'll start with longs. And like I said, my interest is waning in longs here, but I have to follow momentum. Now, if we get a pullback into this demand, right? That demand, let me just give you the number here, is at 28837s and ends at 28804s. Now, there probably is demand in here around the 289s as well. Okay? So I can't discount that. So, but I'd rather get a little deeper of pullback. All right, so let's say we get that pullback and you find some support right at the 288s. Push up, get a lower high, you tack that overnight high, 28976. See if you can go into the weekend all-time highs. Okay? I don't want to get a pullback too deep. All right? I think that's all I'm interested in. All right? Now, of course, we could always break highs, find acceptance above it, and pull back to go long. Like I said, my long obsession is waning a little bit. I just have to see what internals do. Okay? Now, shorts. So, like I said, I think we can still pull back today. Okay. So, what would I want to see? Well, let's sweep those overnight highs, come back into yesterday's range, put in a lower high with outflows coming out of tech. Then I want to short. All right, your first target's 288s. Second target, most traded price of the week, 28675 happens to be the most traded price of yesterday. If you take that out, folks, you're going to touch the overnight lows and yesterday's lows, 28553s, 28542s. Then you have support here around the 28510s. If you lose that, you are going straight for the top of the gap, 28336s. Let's see if you can fill that gap. That would be around the 28189s. And now you can keep going from there. I don't know. Okay. If you're very, very conservative, the one thing I would say is wait for all that demand to get taken out, right? And then you come into here, probably come into the yesterday's lows, probably get some buying and retest the 28676s. If tech is weak and you retest the 28675s, the most traded price of the week, that's your short. Because if you have three lows here, that's going to get broken, and I think you do probably fill a gap here around the 28189s. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, now we could very well get bought up here at these like overnight lows and yesterday's lows. We could very well do that. I don't know. I never know. I just got to be prepared. Okay, so that's it for me, folks. Now let me give you my overall market thesis. Semis are on fire. Okay. But what do I know? Weekly expected moves have all been breached, and many in stocks. And like I said yesterday, we hit a ceiling. Okay. Now, momentum carried it up again. So, put the call ratio has hit lows. People aren't buying puts. They're complacent. They think the market's going to go up forever. Now, these are just data points. That doesn't mean you short markets now. Right? Remember what I said. There's some technology sectors starting to get very overbought. Okay? So, for today, I don't mind taking a shallow pullback to go long if tech is up, if the market still shows strength. If the market shows outflows of tech, today I am not against shorting again. I am very cautious on it, okay, but I want to see tech to have outflows. Right? Now, we still have NVIDIA earnings coming. Okay. Now, I don't know if the market's going to wait for that, but that is coming. Semis are on fire. We are going to get a nasty pullback in semis. I just don't know when. Nobody does. Okay. When that happens, our markets will probably pull back hard. Doesn't mean a crash, just means they'll need to correct. This is getting pretty crazy, okay? Thing is when this kind of gets bought and gets bought and gets bought, it trains everybody's mind to thinking, man, this isn't going down, right? And then it goes down, and then everybody's surprised when it happens, right? Because you don't see it coming, which that's the way the markets work, all right? So that's it for me, folks, all right? I'm a very cautious long. I'm a cautious short. But I got to play what I see. All right. Now, smash the like button if you enjoyed that analysis. I hope you did. All right. Help out my channel. And as always, you can please join me. Subscribe, set an alert. I do this every morning. I give you the market story, the market news, the economic calendar, leaders and laggards, technical analysis, and I just gave you the long and short trade scenarios in the ES and the NASDAQ futures. If you want more in-depth coverage, you are going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Let me be your indicator. Okay? So I go live around 9:45 a.m. every day. Hope you join me. Come in, ask questions. I will not steer you wrong. I will not steer you wrong. Okay? And we have our plan. Remember, no trade's a trade. Let's go into the weekend following your process. Okay? Now, to all the mothers out there, have a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. All right? If I don't see you in my Discord, I will see you Monday.